Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. It's been a rough football day for me. First, the Lions got totally blown out, and now my Dolphins lose another big game. And we're going to take away three things. This is what we're going to do. We're going to first ask you to please like and subscribe to the channel. And we're going to talk about three things I took away from the game, specifically on the Dolphin side. And then we're going to rant a little bit about officiating and the tush push. So if you want to hear a couple rants at the end, stay for that. Otherwise, let's just get into the three things that I learned about this game. Okay, let's start with the first thing. The defense is still tough, man. It is tough. It's hard. We were expecting big things from Vic Fangio, and I think it's still there, guys. We didn't have Xavier Howard. That's huge. We didn't have Ramsey. That's also obviously huge. We lost Long halfway through the game. I think that's pretty big. But even with injuries aside, it's going to take this team time. I kind of want to wait until November, December before I start judging the defense. At first it couldn't stop the Eagles at all, but you could see that it made adjustments and it was able to hold the Eagles in the second half, even though to 14 points, at least that's better than 17, and they got stops, and it's going to be a harder offense to stop. Okay. But right now the defense is, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more quicker though, like little flashes. We did get the pick six. That was good. Good blitz call that led to the tip pass and a touchdown by Baker. So, I mean, that was good, but overall, I'd like to see a little bit more from the defense as well. I would say one thing that was kind of good to see in this game was Chubb and Phillips getting to Jalen Hurts a lot. That was nice to see. So hopefully they keep that energy going, that energy up. They had the 3 sacks of the game. Okay, let's go to our second big thing of the game. I'm going to talk about Tua a little bit. So I feel like, we're quick to anoint quarterbacks. We've always been, because I think we just love it when the NFL is just kind of more fun with the more quarterbacks out there that are better, top 5 type quarterbacks, franchise type quarterbacks, or quick to anoint him because it's more exciting that way. And I think Tua is a franchise quarterback. I think he's a really, really good quarterback, but I think we see constantly sort of limitations with him when it comes to him playing teams that get a lot of pressure on him. So a team like the Eagles are a team that got a lot of pressure on them today. They had 4 sacks, and not only that, but hurries as well. 6 QB hits on top of the 4 sacks. And the other thing is it's sort of the same with the Buffalo game, right? Like the amount of hits. And I think watching this game, I came to this realization. And again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Tua, what he's so good at is getting the ball out quickly and throwing to spots. And he throws to his spots very accurately. Okay. And the problem is when he has to go off his first read, that's when pressure starts to come. And if there's not pressure, he's fine. But when there's pressure, when he goes from the second to third read, that's when it's harder for him to adapt. That's, and again, I could be wrong. Tell me. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing. Okay. I know what the stats are. As far as his stats on the year, but I'm talking about specifically when we watch him. Think about it. Would you say that he's great at off-platform throwing the football? I don't think so. Is he good at like changing his arm angles? No. Is he good like when he's on the run and he has to make a big play? Not really. He can do it, but it doesn't mean he's like good at it or great at it. He can do it sometimes. But I don't even remember, like, does he throw good off his back foot? Not really. And that's all because I think of his arm limitation. He doesn't have the strongest arm, which is fine. But that means that someone like him is going to struggle against pressure more than maybe someone like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts or like an Aaron Rodgers, those type of quarterbacks. Now, can it work still? Yeah, absolutely. But they got to figure it out because I want to see Tua grow a little bit more. And he's been amazing this year, especially statistically. But it's just these physical games that it's hard for him. The offense only scored 10 points in this game, guys. I don't what do you say about that? Moser averaged 5 yards a carry because he had 9 carries, but one of those carries was 21 yards. That's half his yardage. I don't know. It's a finesse offense, and I think that's part of the reason why. Maybe I could be wrong, but it's a finesse offense. So when they play physical teams, that's probably why. I don't know, but that's one realization I think I came away with Tua. Okay, let's talk about the third thing. And that sort of goes in line with the physical team. I wasn't happy that the Eagles lost to the Jets. Just like before the Bills played the Dolphins, the Dolphins scored 70 points because it gives the other team fuel. And when you give a team that is a Super Bowl contender motivation, they are twice as difficult to beat. And I think the Eagles had that. And I just, when I did a podcast this last week, I talked about this being a measuring stick game for the Miami Dolphins. And I don't know if they measured up. Now, the game was tied, halfway through the third. So it's just what do we take from that? Even though I felt like the Dolphins were dominated throughout the entire game, they were in it halfway through the third quarter, even into the fourth. I don't know. So I'm so just annoyed and frustrated about this game, guys. So I'm kind of at a loss of words. I didn't think we'd I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win, but I just thought we'd have more of an effort after the effort we put up against the Bills. This is another measuring stick game for us, and we didn't really show up. I felt like we were dominated, and maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, you guys can tell me, I guess. Okay. So that's the third thing I kind of took away is we're just not there yet, but we have a couple of months to figure it out. So we'll see if the Dolphins do that. Okay, finally, let's get into the tush push first. If you want to leave, I'm going to rant on a couple things. Subscribe to the channel and like the video. The tush push, I don't need to ever see it again. Okay, it reminds me of Shaquille O'Neal shooting free throws. It's so boring. And you oftentimes know the result that he'd miss. That's a tush push. It's a good idea. I get it. I get why Philadelphia fans love it. I get why the team loves it. You get in 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, you're converting. That's what everybody wants to do. But it just is not entertaining. Just not. Now, the team that it's successful for, it's entertaining because it's oh, you can't stop us. And it's yeah, but it's not. I didn't like it when I watched them do it the first time. I disliked it even more when I saw it 1,000 times tonight. So get rid of the tush push. Don't want to ever see it again. The officiating. So I'm not one to typically blame the officials, and this is not a blame the officials game because the Eagles, you Eagles fans, if you're still in here, you guys dominated. Don't take this the wrong way. But 10-0, 10 penalties to 0. That's ridiculous. If I remember, I'm going to post this thing I found on Twitter of a number of missed calls by the refs. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I found this on Twitter of so remember Tyreek Hill's touchdown that got taken back that would have made it 10-10. And that guy, he grabbed him across the thing like this, and it was a penalty. It was a good call. Good officiating. They didn't miss it. And I know that the officials won't get every call, but there was a snapshot of 3 different times their offensive linemen of the Eagles did the exact same thing 3 times. Not one was called. Not one. 2 pass interference calls were missed, including one that could have been a face mask. Now, the officiating crew was bad. I don't know if it was, I'm not an on-purpose guy, but I do think this. The more gambling becomes popular in the NFL, the more transparent the NFL needs to be. I think it's that simple. I don't know why it isn't more transparent. When the players do something wrong, they go and face the people. the public, right? When the coaching they do stupid things, they go up on a podium, they face the media, they face the public. Why does the NFL and the refs get away with not facing the public when they have poor performances, when they don't do good, when they are making bad calls or not making good calls? I just don't. Even the roughing the passer on Wilkins, I understand it was kind of unnecessary. I get it, but that was soft. Come on. The officiating was so bad, and it felt one-sided, and I'm not normally a guy like that. And would it change the outcome of the game? It could have, because penalties matter. They keep drives extended. They take away big plays, whatever the case may be. So it could have. I would still predict, even if it was fairly officiated, the Eagles would probably have still won because they dominated the game on all ends. And I want to give credit to the Eagles and their fans for that. But you cannot tell me that the refereeing was equal or good. And it was funny because I was on, looking at this on Twitter. I got to stop ranting. But I was looking on Twitter, and one guy's like, well, they did call that offensive offsides and to discount the defensive offsides at one time. I'm like, dude, are you serious? You got one example and it was an offsetting example? Okay, bro. Seriously. Like, read the room. That's not the problem here. Okay? So anyway, that's it. Rant over. Officiating sucks. I just don't know why, with all the technology we have, why, like, for instance, that pass interference with the face mask, why that when you saw the replay, you just can't be like, yeah, that's obviously pass interference. Why can't New York have guys in the booth ready to adjust major penalties that should be called from the game and take away bad penalties? Why are we still doing this archaic thing where it's like, no, whatever's said on the field, that's what happens? It's like, no wonder why there's people who think the games are fixed, because you are unwilling to change these stupid rules that have been back from 1920s or whatever it was. Anyway, okay, rant over. Okay, guys, well, we'll talk to you guys soon. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, tell me what you thought of the game. Sorry, I'm annoyed, frustrated. It was a long football day, and it was not a very fun one. So we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.